Hello, and welcome to episode 36 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Abby, and I am your host. With me, as always, are Logan and Jordan. Logan, we'll start with you. What did you do in Flesh and Blood this week?
Not a lot. There was a skirmish here, and I didn't go. I did a straight up Jordan and Abby move where there's something, going on locally, and I just skipped it.
Yeah.
I skipped it to drink with friends. That I haven't seen for years. So at least there was a method and not just cards require getting in them. But I did play Armory on Tuesday, and that was CC or Blitz or Dread. I can't fucking remember. It's fine, whatever it was. And then the Thursday Armory was CC. Thursday was CC. Played 5 to a 2-2 record. Dory's hard, and there is one of our locals who is very much so hates anything aggressive, and so they play a Fatigue Lexi deck.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's really dedicated to just punishing anybody that wants to do anything. Like, if you're a deck that wants to block all the time, you're going to beat the shit out of a Fatigue Lexi deck. If you are a deck that wants to kill your opponent, you're not going to win. So that was interesting. Then we had there was a skirmish on Saturday. I didn't go. So that's what I did. It was not nothing landmark. Nothing worth writing home about. How about you, Jordan?
I did a little bit of Flesh and Blood this week, actually. Saturday, I played a skirmish. It was a sealed one. Did some uprising. Sealed, I came in the top 8 and then drafted and lost the top 8 draft. Or the round of 8 draft, I should say. Brother-in-law and his best friend came in and played in their first sanctioned Flesh and Blood events, which was cool. And I'll let Abby talk a little bit more about that, or maybe we can tag team that part. But we did learn to play draft is a little bit of a misnomer, but we did their first draft of Flesh and Blood after the game. My brother-in-law's friend, I don't know what they're comfortable with being on the internet, so I'm not going to say their names or whatever, but friend, I guess, can be not brother-in-law, but brother-in-law's friend.
Friendo.
Yeah, code or secret agent people. So friend had never drafted any game before. He had only ever casually played Magic. So the idea of playing in a sanctioned tournament for a game was new, and then getting to do a draft afterwards is also new. So that was really fun. And he's getting his Abby, is it girlfriend?
Girlfriend.
Yeah, he's getting his girlfriend into it as well, who is long-time girlfriend, domestic partner, maybe, I don't know. Long-time girlfriend into it as well. So there is some more women coming into the scene, which is cool, and family being involved in the game is great. So I got to do that. Opened a Marvel Chromai, and what was the other cold foil that I opened? Abby opened one as well, and I'll let her talk about that. But I ran really hot on sealed and draft tournament, Marvels and legendaries lately. So that's pretty cool. The last 3 limited events I've played in, I've pulled 3 Marvel or legendaries. So that's been pretty neat. Abby, why don't you talk about your skirmish?
Yeah, so I also played in the skirmish on Saturday. I lost in top 4. So I went 3-2 in Swiss. Cut to top 8. My brother also went 3-2 and did not make it into the top 8, which was a pretty big bummer for him. And then drafted, won my first round, and then lost to Matt, who ultimately won. So that was pretty cool. And then we obviously did the not learn to play, but more casual draft afterwards. I sat down at the table and said I wasn't drafting Fi, and I didn't. I drafted Icelander, and it sucked.
Nope. All right.
So, but Friendo, Icelander is his favorite hero. So he's working on building a CC deck for that. Also interested in Dash, and he wants the Azalea bounty. We were telling them about that. And then my brother...
quick, Ab, if you don't mind, is it okay if I tell the Azalea story a little bit?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. He mentioned Azalea was a hero on his watch list, and I was like, hey, before you buy Azalea cards, she's a trash can, and he was like, oh, what makes it so bad? And like, I'm explaining just like, you don't know until you know, but Azalea is a trash can, and then Abby explained the bounty to him, and everything I said up until that point did not matter. So this guy is going to grind every road to nationals in an area near you
with Azalea.
With Azalea to give that bitch a living legend point. So
Redliner or Death Dealer? Like where are we going with this?
I don't know if he has a plan yet. I don't know what he actually texted me today, friend did. And it said his girlfriend was cracking some packs and pulled a foil red in the ledger, and it's fate, basically. Is the thing. Anyways, sorry, Abby, for interjecting in your story, but I didn't want to gloss over how important the bounty was to Caleb. Or God damn it!
God.
All right, friend is Caleb. Next.
Sorry, friendo.
That lasted long.
That lasted so long. You're so good, but fuck.
But yeah, so my brother likes he likes Fi, obviously that's the big one. Then he wants to put together a Bravo deck. So we went through Beyond the Board where we were at on Saturday has a huge bulk section. Basically went through anything that wasn't Uprising that fell into one of the categories that they wanted. We were pulling out bulk for him. So It was awesome. I'm very excited. I'm going to try and get my sister-in-law to start playing. That's my next task. But yeah, it was a good time. Top 4 was pretty cool. I got my cold foil Fi, so
that's awesome
about that.
So I do
good.
I do remember what I did on Tuesday. We drafted Arcane Rising. And I forced Azalea.
Okay.
Only losing to Kano because I only had one piece of Arcane Barrier.
Yes.
Okay. I've never drafted Arcane Rising.
Nope.
I need to do it just to do it.
Yeah. It's what's the best way to really sum this one up?
Not good.
Yeah, so there's just doesn't ever feel like there's enough null rune to make Kano bad.
Gotcha.
So, and then if a Kano player sees null rune, they just
take it
every time, regardless, knowing that they're just
foolish enough to pass null rune, like
you just can't.
Yeah, is it the pack one pick one sans like actual bombs?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think you see a piece of null rune, pack one pick one, and there's nothing else that like there's no what are some of the cards? Red and Ledger is actually incredible. Or like an Eye of Ophidia, obviously you're going to take, or any legendary.
Right.
Then there's, or like what's the Viscerai stuff that would be quite crazy, or like High Octane. I think is that in Arc? I think so.
Dude, I actually have no idea.
But or something along those lines. It's very difficult to ever pass a piece of null rune. Like,
gotcha.
You just don't do it.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, you get cooked by Kano.
Yeah, it's a weird draft format. It was kind of funny because you talk a lot about bulking people up on here, and we got to do that with my brother-in-law and friendo.
Feels awesome, doesn't it?
It was pretty funny because like everybody knows at the skirmish because I introduced him to everybody and everybody knows that this is my brother-in-law and his friend, and he's Abby and I's family, and they were like at this point everybody has everything they need.
Yeah. Yep.
Gave him everything, and at the end, people keep trying to give him stuff, and he goes, "Hey, can we? I don't want to like look a horse giver in the mouth, but maybe can we upgrade this to or downgrade what we want to rares and up?" And like, and then it became, "Hey, maybe it's just like Majestics you don't need an up." And like, it was pretty funny, like in the same day to see these two levels of like. Please stop giving me shit. And like Abby mentioned, Beyond the Board literally has a table that. If for Magic and Flesh and Blood, you could just put cards there, and like it's overrun and unwieldy. And like actually, this weekend there is a come create pauper decks for people, commoner decks for people like building day, and we're gonna get through all of that is the plan. But it's pretty funny because they have one of the boxes that like sealed product comes in, like a case,
yeah,
right?
case box, yeah.
And we had filled it up with just bulk and stuff, and like I was doing a trade with Teague where he wanted a Marvel and I needed like some bulk like Majestics from like Monarch, and like so the Marvel was like $30. All of the Majestics that I needed added it up to like $450, you know. And then like I was like, well, let me pull some Bravo and Ranger cards and Wizard cards to get up to 30. So like, they got hooked up, and that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun to do.
Mhm.
I would like to make an appeal to the community if I could, to our friends and family. I'm down to only needing the Marvel Dracona Optimi, the Marvel Icelander, and the Cold Foil Quelling Slippers to be just done.
Hold on,
I think we have like 8 slippers. Yeah, I have a bunch of those.
You guys talk for 2 seconds. I'm gonna go check.
So many heat waves. So many heat waves.
Will trade you.
Also gave me slippers when we were at that draft in the speakeasy.
I gave you Tide flippers, not slippers.
Yeah. I will give you slippers for a Cold Foil Ash token.
That's not even hard pass. You can have the Cold Foil Ash token for free, but I'm not trading that. Like no, fuck that.
Slippers, you said?
Slippers, yes. A Marvel Icelander, a Marvel Dracona Optimi, and these slippers. It is vexing me now because there have been either 3 or 4 Marvel Dracona Optimis opened in Des Moines in the last 3 weeks. And none by me.
All right, I have slippers.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, one down.
Bring my holiday crack baubles, or I will shred this in front of you the next time I see you.
Will you also bring my hat?
Yeah, I can bring your hat. I can bring Jordan's baubles.
I will eat this quelling slipper.
Okay, now you're just making it so I don't want to bring the baubles.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But that's the completionist in me is dying a little bit, and so I need to not be dying a little bit.
Now, cool. I pulled it, set it aside. So, community, hook them up. The trade channels have been really good. I've heard some people have found stuff on the trade channels. So,
yep.
Awesome.
All right, are we ready to move on?
The most
Thank
ready.
God. Okay, great. So news this week: the Battle Hardened in Auckland. Is that how we say that?
Yes, Auckland.
Okay, I'm not great with world stuff. I grew up in
world
America,
stuff.
so we don't know
what it is.
So did I.
Yeah, listen, you've been to where I grew up.
It's true.
All right, so Bravo won, which is cool.
Yeah, piloted by Cale McCreath, though. Like, let's be real here. That's the probably best Guardian player on the planet. Like, and taking a deck that is favored into a field of Fies and just farming Fies. So
Michael Hamilton has entered the chat.
I'd be really interested to see just a 1v1 of Cale versus Hamilton. I think that would be a very fun match to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're both so incredibly good at the micro decisions portions of those decks. I'd have a blast.
The interesting thing was it was a. Sorry, I'm good.
No, go ahead.
Well, I think I was going to talk about what you were talking about, and that Bravo versus Oldham final did not go the way that I think the odds makers would have anticipated it to go.
No, it didn't.
Like I think Oldham is massively favored in that matchup, and like, very interesting.
Yeah, so your top 8 was 2 Bravo, 1 Oldham, 1 Briar, and then 4 Phi.
Right. Yep. Kind of feels like the way things will be going for a little bit, honestly.
Yes.
I'm interested to see what kind of tech, I guess, people are hiding ahead of the Pro Tour. I've heard a lot of chatter about how Viscera is actually the best deck, and people have stopped playing it to keep it under wraps.
Well, and I find that interesting because when I pulled up the meta breakdown, we'll link the article that has it. It has the lowest. Like there's like 5 of them with that, but there was only like 2.9% of Viscera, which is the same as Bolton, Rhinar, Dory.
Other decks that don't matter.
Right. And And I found that very interesting that it dropped so drastically.
Yeah, like I said, I get the feeling that people are just not playing it because they don't want it to be on the radar. I've heard of a lot of people that I do respect their opinions. I'm not going to name names just because they may be, hiding, more and they don't getting flooded with requests or questions or whatever. But they have very much so been very high on Viserai being better than people think and probably the actual best deck, which that could be hyperbole. I don't know. But it's interesting to me that a lot of people who are very good at this game are talking of Viserai pretty heavily in closed circles.
It's quite curious that if you would have asked us 6 months ago the status of, sorry, not 6 months ago, I guess 3 months ago, the status of Viserai after bans and things during Bravo Summer, where we'd be with Viserai, I don't think we would say maybe the favorite to win the Pro Tour.
Yeah,
I think if we listened back to that episode, we would laugh at how bad some of those takes were.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure, yeah. Obviously, the Skeletor portion of it made it so that deck had to change a ton.
Right.
But
I think now it's just an aggro deck, right? Like you used to have the aggro deck for the OTK plan, and now you can actually just streamline the aggro version, which, when we're in a reactionary thing, which, like, hey, newsflash, we run a podcast, we have to be reactionary. You kind of worry about, hey, what does this mean? And Bravo was still around, right? Just start of the show. So it's crazy to see just like how efficient Viserai can just do chunks of damage every turn, not need to block because it's as fast as anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And it attacks on 2 axes. Like,
yep, that's huge. That's huge in this game. Was arcane damage a mistake? Hot question time.
Ooh.
I don't think so. My take. I'll give you my take up front. I don't think so. But I'll leave that to your co-host.
Is arcane damage a mistake?
That can also be too broad of a question, but
I say no. It is not a mistake. Giving it to Runeblade, or I guess over time with Runeblade being pushed, Runeblade having access to arcane damage is possibly a mistake. Should have given it to Azalea.
Yeah, should have been great.
And then, had the bow do like 1 arcane for 2 or something,
Yep.
Just a free magic arrow, I guess. I don't fucking know. But anything like that would have been probably better than letting Runeblades have access to arcane damage. But
I wonder if like it's the chunks of arcane damage that are the mistake. That's where I was going to go with it. Is like the way in which arcane damage is put onto cards. I like the 2 axes. I like that it requires an actual deck building burden to both like turn on this arcane damage a lot of the time and to defend against it. Like I like that a lot. I wonder if they would have redone excess of 2 arcane per item or something like that, with the exception of Wizard, obviously.
Or just redone how instances of arcane damage work.
Yeah. So you could null rune a whole thing or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Instead of something dealing 4, it dealt 4 in instances of 1, and each instance in the rules were that each instance could be AB'd.
Yeah. I wonder, and I guess they're never too far. You're never too far gone to change that, but they are getting further away from where it would be like Fab 2.0 would have been when you did that. You know?
Yep.
Abby, what do you think about that? I know this is not in the show notes, but
yeah, I know you guys have taken me off. I mean, I don't know. I like that it's there. I don't think it's a mistake that it's there. I don't know. I don't play enough of it.
Yeah.
I hate playing against it. I know that.
Yeah. Well, I'd also like to point out that you're right, Jordan. This is literally the first time we've ever deviated from the show notes as written.
Listen,
it's
I'm
never
a very
happened until now.
Planner.
No, yeah. I when I do these show notes, there people that don't have Patreon access, there's literal timestamps and everything, and it's we buzz Logan, like electrically shock him if he gets off topic, and it's and it's crazy. You never know.
Every fuck you hear me say is scripted.
Yeah,
every single one.
Literally, it's great. You know how long this shit takes me to do? Like up your Patreon tiers, okay? You're getting way more work than you realize. Like that laugh that he just did, completely on the books,
totally scripted.
Like, God, it's a fucking Aaron Sorkin movie up in
right,
here,
right down to the shirt I'm wearing. Like
right.
I didn't, I fake. This is actually fake. I did not just come off a golf course like I look like I did. This was all planned ahead of time.
For our audio only listeners, Logan just got off of a boat. It looks like.
Yes,
it
so
does. Yeah.
I think he just got done golfing for what it's worth, but yeah, he's got a very nice floral shirt on. So
all right,
it is nice. I mean, it's a Pebble Beach. I like
nice.
it.
You've pointed it out. I feel like you're a little self-conscious about
it. I mean, it's only because of my size. Because I feel like I look like a sail. I feel like I am currently catching wind to get a yacht or a schooner further down.
When you wear clothes that aren't just like a plain color and like have like buttons or logos or whatever, you as a big person, you feel like a blimp in them. I get it. You look fantastic.
Well,
please stop that negative self-talk. We're a positive, family-friendly show.
And we are not fucking family-friendly.
Again, folks, all of this was scripted. I'm fucking Shakespeare. Okay?
All right.
I'm wasted on this generation.
Moving on with our scripted plans.
Fucking damn it.
So we have five Battle Hardens in six Battle Hardens in the next 2 months. So we have Battle Hardened Portland next weekend. Battle Hardened Baltimore 2 weekends. 2 weekends out? Yes.
The 19th, yep.
Battle Hardened Singapore on the 21st. Battle Hardened Lille on the 28th.
At the PT, yeah.
At the PT.
Yep. Battle Hardened Columbus over Labor Day weekend.
Mm-hmm. That's the 4th, yep.
Battle Hardened Charlotte at US Nationals.
Yep. One of the interesting things about this article that FaBTCG laid out, and I'm only mentioning this because like I am grumpy with what SCGCon is for Columbus. It's listed as like date Friday the 2nd to Sunday the 4th of September, when it's like on the 4th of September, and like Charlotte is listed as just the date of the Battle Hardened, and Lille and Singapore are listed as just the date of the Battle Hardened. So I'm wondering if they're trying to like grow this artificial interest and like, oh, I'm going to make it a fab weekend at SCGCon. And like, I know that's not what it is. And that's just like the person that formatted the article copied and pasted the date from a spreadsheet that they have, right? Like, I know that's not what it is, but it feels just like SCGCon is going to suck for Columbus people.
Yep.
And like, for fab Columbus people specifically. And it annoys me to see them advertise the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Understandable. Like, I agree with you. It does not look like there is enough for the Flesh and Blood community of the Midwest in general, or the Rust Belt in general, to kind of like satiate the need. It is just kind of lame how Star City has decided to do these types of things, with how they operate it, I guess, where they're just like, and Flesh and Blood, right? There's the Super Armory, which a lot of the times the Super Armory stuff is really cool. They give really cool promos. They do cold foils to the top, and that's neat, right? But then you have an entire Saturday of fucking nothing. Like, you can draft Uprising. That's about it. Or play Ultimate Pit Fight, or play Commoner, or whatever, or do on-demand events.
I don't think there are good scheduled sides, right? Like,
no. Not that I've seen.
There's not even like good. There's not even like a daily double type of thing that like.
No.
That's a very, very Channel Fireball thing.
Yeah. It's frustrating. And there's not even like Go Infinite packages for Magic.
Nope. There's no packages.
That's the thing that's crazy to me, right? Like, let me buy a package that is the Armory, 3 drafts, and the Battle Hardened, and like charge me $100 for it. And I'll look like an asshole when I buy it, but I would, right? Yeah, exactly. Yep. Like, or charge me like a Go Infinite package for limited, and like, hey, you get 1 sealed with it, and then Infi drafts. Like, how much is it for Magic? $150. You do 10 drafts, and you feel like you fucking crushed it. And I would do 10 Uprising drafts over the course of the Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You give away all the cards.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because drafting this set's really fun still to me. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be after 10 over a weekend, but
you never know. I mean,
well, you never know that. And like, there is good value hits. Like, every Marvel Dragon is $30 at least. Like every legendary still has some chunk of change to it. Especially the Phi ones are actually worth money.
We can talk about Ghostly Touch if you want to. But
Abby opened a cold foil one this weekend,
those
so
are like
that was
70-ish.
that was
Those are
yeah
nice.
that was I think it's what it was 75.
Yeah.
But like the fact that there's nothing like that. The one thing we have is this one Battle Hardened, and it's going to be jammed in the corner behind all of the fucking pre-releases for Magic, and like the vendors aren't going to carry Flesh and Blood cards because Star City doesn't take it seriously, and like that's the thing that frustrates me too. And I hate to just keep being a negative Nancy about this event in my backyard, but like Channel Fireball, when they host like a combined event, it feels like it matters. Like Flesh and Blood isn't just like this ad that they got to charge LSS for, and like trust me, I'm no Channel Fireball stan, but like at SCG Con there may be 3 fab vendors, and like even then they're like Magic is their main squeeze, and like they look at you like you're crazy when you want to vend some like Flesh and Blood cards, so I don't know, my cat just jumped up on the table, so I'm like trying to guard all of the expensive things.
There she is.
There's the kitty.
Yeah, there's like cold foils and Findel spring tunics all over the desk, and so I don't know. It's very frustrating what channel like what you mentioned, what Star City does with Flesh and Blood and like this goddamn cat, and how we're treated, and then just to see like this SCG Con, by the way, the 2nd through the 4th, there's a lot for you to do. Like, if you're gonna come, please come to the Armory at Beyond the Board on Friday night. Don't go pay $40 for a fucking Armory or $25 for an Armory, whatever it is. Like, play in a local one at a local game store, and then like do your drafts or whatever you're gonna do for Magic and Flesh and Blood.
Now I feel like I'm gonna be an asshole for going to this like Super Armory on Friday. Like, I feel like my yum has just been yucked.
Well,
if you want to pay $25 for an Armory, I honest to God, like, don't blame you, because like if you're gonna ticket grind and like that's worth it to you, I don't blame you.
No, it's more for me that it would depend on like let's say Beyond the Board is drafting Uprising and this Super Armory or whatever is Blitz. I'd go draft.
Sure.
Like, full stop. I would just go draft. I would rather draft. The Airbnb I booked has an 8-person table for a reason.
I think I could tell you what the format is already at Beyond the Board. Just because I get what you're saying. Like, it just depends on what it is, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like if you're in the, like, CC is a desirable format to play right now. It's like very fun. There's a lot of options. That versus Blitz, like, or that versus like, whatever Beyond the Board would be doing, right? It doesn't look like they have September events up yet, but my guess is, based on what this is, actually I have no idea what their rotation is. I'm not going to try to guess, but they
might know a guy.
So
we might know a guy.
I do know Teague. I'll message him right now and see if I can find out. But
and I do have like some level of loyalty to. I mean, I don't even live near the fucking place, but because Teague is a supporter of the show and has been since basically day one, there is a much higher level of loyalty from me to doing something at Teague's store with Teague around, and then going to this SCG event and paying $25 to do whatever. So it like, and that part is true, and it also just depends on the Armory kits too. It's like, well, we don't even know what September's Armory kit is. I don't think.
Right. I don't think we do.
Right, and so like, I can just make that decision later. It's fine. I don't actually care. Yeah.
I think like just for people that are trying to figure out the value, the thing at SCG Con is $25 for Classic Constructed. Beyond the Boards are $5. So, or like it's just the cost of packs if we're like sealed and limited. So, as opposed to like it would be like $1,000 at SCG Con to do a fucking sealed. And again, I think you're right. I don't mean to yuck the yums of people that like these just because they're big events to go to, and you don't get to be around people that enjoy your hobby as much as like you and I are lucky to do. So there is value in that, and I don't want to again yuck the yum of anyone that enjoys that shit. It just frustrates me to have an event in my backyard, to historically be from an area that has been so strong in like trading card games, and you as well.
Yeah.
Like, we're Midwest Rust Belt people, like you said, and it doesn't do anything. We're not getting anything like we used to. Indianapolis, Columbus, Cincinnati, Cleveland, like these were like Grand Prix stops every year for Magic. They were Pro Tour locations for Magic. Like, and now for Flesh and Blood, it really feels like, well, if I can't go to Las Vegas or like Jersey City or or Singapore or whatever, what the cat, stop it. what the point is. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
No, I
because
get
there
that.
is a huge demand here, and I have ranted too long on this, and I feel bad. But
well, I mean, yeah, it's because in here it's the Pro Tour stop or the GPs were Minneapolis and Kansas City, and once the contract went to Channel Fireball exclusively, those didn't exist anymore. Just kind of a big fuck you to the Midwest, and yeah,
and I think that comes with like the centralization of vendors, or I guess vendor is a ambiguous term in this context, of like tournament organizers.
Yeah.
Like who LSS chooses to be their service for that, because like what people that don't know, Magic used to be regionally ran. So there was a store or an online retailer that ran the Grand Prix in your region, and some of them were better than others, and some of them you'd be like, I'm not going to that place's tournaments ever again. And that was a thing to definitely like give feedback about, but at least your region got tournaments. And I think a lot of people in like Southeast America probably feel a little Southeast United States, sorry, saying America makes it sound strange, probably feel a little left out. Rust Belt or Midwest people, we definitely feel left out. Even South Central United States, like the Texas areas, are really left out, I think, in disservice by like the West Coast, East Coast.
Yeah.
Ruling.
I mean,
things,
Dallas is a MetaZoo hotspot, though, just so you know. So make sure it's out there.
I'm going to start compulsively vomiting over here on the side
again.
And if that's not related at all, trust me.
No, not at all.
So on the FaBTCG website, we also have an update on some upcoming release dates. So November 22, 2022 is Dynasty, which we knew. But we have a standalone booster set coming in Q1 of 2023.
I guess it's March.
Yeah, because November is too close for it to be January. I guess Everfest came out in February.
Yeah, late February, right?
I think
Aria came out in like September.
Okay.
Or early October.
Right.
So I think 4 months.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, if this is the pace, I can live, especially since OP is busy, both locally and nationally. Now again, we'll see. Like PT, Lil, and Worlds are the last things on the big calendar, right? Like, there's no calling at the U.S. Nationals.
There's
I guess
Nationals, and then there's a calling in Lil.
Right, that's before Nationals.
Oh, right.
So I'm just looking to what the latest we have is. I assume there will be one at Worlds.
I think they already said there was.
Was there? So I guess I don't consider, and this is in the same vein, I guess, I don't consider those callings for the sake of callings. Like when you've already rented the venue like they have, it's free to add a calling, right? I
was really hoping you were going to say you didn't consider San Jose to be part of the United States. But I digress.
I know it's no San Diego, but go fuck yourself, San Jose. I guess one of the things, and I hate, hey, it's a tuber show. One of the things
Eric
I hate
Hosmer sends his regards.
About I don't like to be the comparison to Magic Guy all the time, even though we do that regularly. It doesn't feel like Fab either. I don't know if they don't feel like they have the demand or don't have the capital or just maybe the manpower.
I think it's manpower.
Yeah, like to run callings independently of their other events. Like the fact that the last couple of callings have been tied to Nationals, the Pro Tour, right? And then like a European big event. It feels weird, right? Do you feel like this is kind of like a weird spot compared to where we were with peak Magic days?
Yes.
Okay, as long as I'm not crazy. Like,
no, you're waiting. Well, not about this.
I guess these could be mutually exclusive. Yeah.
Right. If you think about other card games, Magic's gonna be the best example. That's the best one we have.
Right.
But if you think about other card games and how they were in their first 3 years of operation, there weren't Grand Prix really for Magic until the first Pro Tour was 96.
Yep.
You didn't have those and the scale of Grand Prix and how often they happen really didn't kick up until the 2000s. And now you're thinking of this company, which is in its literal infancy still, is, and I think we've used this term a lot here before. I know Flake uses it a lot. They're victims of their own success.
Mm-hmm.
Like things are happening for them faster than they ever thought that they probably would. And, that does speak volumes as to how good they are at their jobs and the things that they've been able to accomplish. But on those same tokens, it's like you kind of have to, like, I really hope that their 2023 plan is actually just very robust, because we're past that initial roadmap. And I'm wondering if they added events to that roadmap, because I think that initial roadmap probably had events on it, right? Like, it probably had, here's the things we want to do. We want to start having these GP-like events, and we're going to plan out to have 2 or 3 of them over the course of this time frame and things like that. And then they looked at the growth and went, maybe we need to try to cram like 5 or 6 and like scrambling to do this shit. Maybe by now by the time that, I honestly feel like it's possible that their original roadmap had the first Pro Tour, that, the dates for that type of thing loosely set are similar to where Pro Tour 2 is happening. And I get the feeling that they're trying to advance their plan, but, like, again, it's really hard to do when there is an amount of people power that needs to go into this to have it happen. So
it's funny because on one hand, I absolutely agree with you. Like, as an attorney that advises businesses and things like that, right? You often tell people, like, hey, I know you've had a good year. Don't go nuts and hire 50 people.
Right.
Like, go slow. So on one hand, like we're talking about, I can appreciate LSS's approach to conservatism here. Like, I definitely can. On the other hand, like, Magic, unfortunately or fortunately for LSS, set kind of like the standard for how, like, organized play should be run. And it does feel bad that, like I would go to 2 call if there was a calling every week. Like if I think those days are gone for, like, games period, but, like, back in Magic's time, there's a Grand Prix every week, right? If there was a calling every week, I'd go to 2 a month. Like, I'd flexible, have, the dispensable income enough, enjoy the game enough to go to 2 a month. And that's the way I prefer to play the game, right? Is very competitively, high levels of play is, like, my preferred thing.
Yeah.
But, like, it feels bad to not be able to do that. And then when there are events, again, to circle back, that they're in, like, the other part of the country that is, like, $2,000 for me to get to. Or they're tied to events that I'm not, like, qualified for. So the value of, like, going plummets. So I don't know. Yeah, I like what you said, and it gave me some clarity and perspective a little bit that, like, we don't want LSS to, like, run out and overexpand and make bad decisions. And I like the, hey, you know what, we set a plan 3 years ago, and we can speed it up a little bit, but we're going to stick to that plan. I really do think that's a smart thing from LSS, and I'm glad you said it, because I kind of forgot that, but. Man,
yeah, it's really easy to think of LSS as this entity that's always been there. It's really easy already.
Yeah.
To just kind of think that, yep, I've been playing this game for 5 years. And, no, you haven't. You've been playing this game for, well, if you're Jordan, you've been playing it since.
Forever.
Don't speak for me. Okay.
Since the primordial ooze congealed into a thing with legs.
But, yeah, when the wizard went behind the curtain and the Oz thing, that's what we pulled out from behind the back, was, like, the Tome of Comprehensive Rules.
I really, really hope a tornado hits your house.
I live in the zone for that. What the fuck?
Abby's good. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you're 100% right. It's a very, the company feels like this shit has been happening for a while, but it hasn't. And a lot of that has been that the absurd growth just doesn't. My insect brain cannot comprehend how something has grown as fast as it has. It doesn't register to me that I started playing this game a year ago, and we were struggling to, we were firing armory events with 5 people on the regular, and now it's 10 or 16, or, it's always a factor that's 2 times what we started with. And a lot of those people that played back then don't play. So you're looking at a lot of new player growth too. It's incredible, but it also lends to this sort of, like Mandela effect almost, where you're just thinking that something is true that just isn't and never has been. I think they're doing the best they can with it. I know that we're never going to be an LSS stand podcast. We're not.
Right.
We love what they do. We're happy that they do it. They give us something to talk about every fucking week. But and sometimes they don't. We just make shit up when they don't. The show notes get real sloppy.
Peep this episode.
The patrons will know. But the fact of the matter is that at some point you're right. They have to know what they can speed up and what else they have to stick to. And we as people have to take a step back and realize, as players or as people who have an investment in this game beyond playing, and we really cover all three of those. That because we're investors, we do a podcast about the fucking game,
right,
and we play.
Yeah, we're literal stakeholders in this game for
yes.
At a low level, but we are stakeholders, and it matters to me. And
yeah,
we now have money wrapped in this and shit. So
we do at times need to take a step back and then look at the macro of everything and be like, okay, I kind of get what's going on here, and we can have hopes for the future based on that. And I believe that they are on a second part of an actual road plan, and that 2023 will actually be a more robust situation for organized play.
Yeah, well, I hope you're right. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that 2022 has a pretty dope organized play event coming up in October.
What is it? Tell us.
So I don't know if you've ever heard of this store. It's called the Realm.
It's the guy with the K's.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name? Is it Carl's K's?
No. It's Kevin?
No,
it's not Kyle. Kyle. It's fucking Kyle.
I think it's Kyle.
It's Kyle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Kyle.
Do you know how long this scene took me to write? Okay. This is now the running joke. No, Keith.
So,
Keith.
Yes. Keith, if you will. Yeah. All right, so we have another brawl in October. It is in Columbus. Everybody, I'm going to give you 2 seconds. Get out your calendar and put these dates down. It's October 22nd and 23rd. Saturday, the 22nd, will be a 10K Classic Constructed Brawl.
I like that in your head the people actually do it during this pause you're giving them and aren't going to pause the podcast or look at the calendar.
No, I gave them 2 Mississippis.
Jesus in this Christ. Minute, they're getting their pen and their paper.
It's on a fucking digital platform. They can pause the show.
Yeah. Go to this chat.
Maybe they won't. I'm just saying.
These are the same people that didn't sign up for the draft.
What'd you say?
I'm happy you gave him an opportunity.
Go ahead, Ab.
Would you two like to talk about the event?
No. Oh no.
I think
the last time we tried to do something you were doing, we always got canceled. So.
Exactly. Okay, so Saturday is 10K Classic Constructed event. Starts at 9:30. I think the hall opens at 8, but
that sounds right.
There will be side events, so you'll have on-demand drafts, and then there is a Win a VIP Blitz tournament and a Win a VIP Ultimate Pit Fight tournament. And then Saturday we'll have the cosplay contest and the Speakeasy party. Then on Sunday is day 2 of the brawl. And then there's a 2K team sealed and on-demand drafts.
But Abby, what's a VIP?
A VIP is a very important person.
But that's all of us.
Oh, damn.
We're all important people.
Oh, shit, Abby.
Well, about that. No, I'm kidding. You all are very important. And you can enter our giveaway to be a very important person that Logan has devised.
I did.
Did you finalize your plans?
I think we did. You're putting me on the spot because I don't think that Jordan has, or you or Jordan have signed off on this.
Oh, I think we said yes.
Listen, I spoke my piece about it last week. I don't care what we do. People didn't want to do the last.
Talking about the idea you posted in Discord this week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I vote yes. So now we win 2 to whatever.
Oh wait, we do have. Yeah, then we have the majority. I like the majority.
Yeah. See.
So now I got to go back.
Abby and I vote in a block, but that's not true. I'm a swing vote.
Okay, so
I'm
now
a less evil Justice Kennedy.
And read Jesus. and read exactly what I said. So hold on. This is bad radio, but I don't want to screw
thank
this
you for
up.
tuning into
It's great.
NPR.
Yeah.
This you can tell where I didn't get to write the script because this is what happens. We're like, shit, what do we say?
Okay, a short video. A short video on why you love Flesh and Pod is what we came up with. Is that what we're going to stick with?
Yes, like TikTok style, like just short, less than a minute. And you can either
Why you love us?
Yeah, Flesh
Yes.
and Pod, like the podcast. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are stroking our own egos. With
why
this
have a
contest.
podcast if not to be a
If
narcissist?
not right.
Yeah.
It is the most narcissistic thing we can do. Is
Right.
is think people want to listen to what we say.
There you go.
There's no greater narcissism than that. But the second greatest narcissism is to make you record videos telling us how much you love to listen to us.
Oh shit.
Are we doing it on Twitter then?
Yeah. What did you have in mind for that, Luke?
Yeah, where you would post the video on Twitter, and tag at Flesh and Pod and hashtag. What is the hashtag for this event? Is it just hashtag the Brawl 2?
More great radio.
I don't know if there is one yet, but
might not be one yet. You can tag the Realm Games as well.
Just tag the Realm Games as well. So
yeah,
tag at FleshPod and at the Realm Games, and we'll know that the video is an entry into the contest. You do not need to be to show like you don't need to dox yourself in the video or anything. A voiceover is also fine of something else. You don't have to show yourself if you don't feel like it. We are inclusive of those things, so we just want to hear from you why you love this show. That's it. Simple. Record it. You can record it on TikTok. You can record your own video to upload to Twitter and tag us. However you want to do that. But
yeah, I think the Twitter app lets you record short videos as well.
It does.
So yeah. And then we're gonna decide. I don't know how we're gonna decide yet. I don't know if we're gonna have like Patreon's vote or if we're gonna like the three of us council. But some system.
Yes, there will be a system that we will put into place of voting on who we think. It may be a blind ballot of picking our top 3 and then voting on, then opening up wider voting of those based on a point system. You know what? We're really just riffing on how that part's going to
guys, just make the fucking video.
Yeah,
and then we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out from there.
Exactly. It's due at the end of September.
Yes.
Yeah. So make a video and tag us in the Realm.
Exactly. You have time, so don't stress about it. You can think about it, what you want to say.
If you don't have Twitter,
oh yeah, we gotta.
You
talk
can
about that.
email us the video.
Okay. Yep. And then we can tweet it from there.
And we will tweet it from there.
There you go.
Yep. Flushandpod@gmail.com.
Solving problems.
Is it flushandpod@gmail.com? Yes, it is. Flushandpod.
You're the one that fucking runs the email. I don't know.
That's a good point.
Right.
And so that's like a $200 value.
$250.
$250. It gets you
$250.
open bar, Infi drafts,
Infi
and
food.
Infi. Is it? I don't know what the food situation is. Is it like a buffet type of deal?
I don't know.
Dope. Yeah. Okay.
No idea.
But we are the only podcast giving out a VIP ticket. You'll see a bunch of other giveaways for like a regular ticket, which includes the food and an access to the bar and access to drafts. But the VIP ticket gets you open bar, Infi free drafts, whatever the food situation is. I'm sure you get the most of it too.
Maybe priority access to in the karaoke line.
Oh yeah,
maybe
bumped
up.
21 and up.
Yeah. Yes. 21 and up.
Thing. So because it is the venue will turn into 21 and up at that point, and that's a venue restriction, not a realm restriction. But I'm excited for this whole weekend because this is what I want Flesh and Blood to be doing. These independent events that are huge, whether they be ran by LSS or independent stores like the Realm that's trying to organize their own series. Cash cosplay contest is fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know I talked about that last week, but like one of the biggest things the cosplay communities are like, man, promos are cool. Like, books and swag are cool, but you know what's great? Paying my rent. Like paying
the money
back
that
the costs.
Into this costume.
Yeah. Like these costumes cost these women and men lots of money, and being able to recoup some of that or put it towards the next one would be insane. So like, this is going to be great. Logan, are we going to run back the team draft?
I mean, that is currently the plan, provided that we can also top 8 the 10K and do the team sealed.
I don't
Gotcha. Okay. Is the one brain cell that carried our team going to be coming?
The brain cell has been doing a lot of work to get strong enough to heft 2 300-pound plus men yet again.
Good for him. God bless.
Yeah.
All right.
He understands what side his bread is buttered on. So
I don't think we do anything for him.
We fucking do too.
You might. I don't see the guy every day. I see him once every couple months.
I mean, he was in the original Speakeasy, for God's sakes.
Oh, I guess that's true. That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to move this along because it's been a show already. We have 5 listener questions this week. The first one is from Fighting Walloon. It is a 3-part question. 1, 2. Yes. So let's
just rapid fire each of these.
We're going to rapid fire. I'm going to do a question. You're all going to say an answer. And we're going to move on. Okay. What is one piece of fab art you'd want to see / own as a playmat? Logan.
Why you got to put me on the spot?
Christ on a cross, Logan.
Really good rapid fire.
Christ on a cross, Logan. You're making me think of our High Roller. I think that one's not on there yet. So High Roller.
Jordan?
Cold Snap.
Mine would be Eye of Athidia. What is your favorite current playmat you've seen or used?
Me first?
Yes.
Blood on Her Hands.
The Realm staff one.
Yeah, mine's the Realm one too. Are you a zones or no zones person when it comes to playmats?
Zones.
Zones, which was not the same answer I would have given a year
ago. Zones, but either way is fine with me. It does not make or break for me. Good question. Question number 2 is from Iron Mag 44. When considering your sideboard, are you looking more towards the meta responses or just the general in this situation? Also, if you were a game dev, what new mechanic would you add that isn't poison counters? That's rude. I feel targeted. Okay.
Wow. For the first one, I'm going to be really honest. I am not a deck builder in this game yet. I don't feel comfortable doing that. So I kind of just do what the one brain cell tells me to do when it comes to sideboarding decisions and shit. It's not my bag as of yet.
That's Dagon White, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know. U.S. Nationals top 4 competitor, carried us. Kadachi won on Twitter. He jokes that he only has one brain cell, but I don't think he's joking.
High functioning brain cell.
Yeah, it's a very good one. It's
a sweet brain
lots
cell.
Of cards and GameStop stock in that one brain cell.
Christ.
But,
and he was very good at MetaZoo for a hot minute.
Yeah.
So Jordan, he's probably still good at it. He's just not loud.
Well, right, he's just banned.
Yeah, I think I echo your sentiment and that I don't devise these on my own. I have tried because and certainly failed. Yeah, I've tried writing out my own. Like if a list that I see on FabDB doesn't have a sideboard guide and just has 80 cards, new list, next list,
right past it.
Yep. Yeah, because I've tried to write my own out and I don't feel good, and I always end up just like asking somebody better than me. Most often, Dagon.
We are very lucky to have a plethora of people who are better than us that we have access to.
Yeah, one of the cool things about being in this for as long as we have been is you have like a good network of people. And I think that's something I would tell people, and let me know if you agree, that one of the biggest things you can do to level up is just like play with the good players at your store and ask them questions, and they'll love it. Card players love nothing more than just like fucking telling you what they think. So like, I would do that.
I want people to understand like very clearly and concisely that we're also referring to ourselves, like in that we also love to fucking tell people what we think.
Oh yeah,
which is why we are recording this right now.
Do you know what level of narcissism you have to be like, you know what? Let's record a conversation we have about a game and other people will listen to
weekly.
Yeah. I'm like, it's fun because like I was talking to Abby about this actually. I consume a lot of like studies and reports on like content creation and like the best ways to maximize like brands and all things like that, in part because of the show and in part because I find it interesting. But if I ever get sad about our numbers, right? Because I'm like, oh, we're not like the biggest show in our genre. I think I look at our number, let's just call it X, because I don't want to like disclose that to people, let's call it X. And if X people were in the room listening to you while you talk, like on about any given thing, you'd be like, holy shit, like there's so many people here,
Right.
even though you're like, so the same thing, like if you have a Twitch stream and you have like 50 people watch your Twitch and you're like, man, I'm not a full-time Twitch streamer and these guys have thousands. Think about how crazy it would be to have 50 people standing around you watching you play your fucking computer game, like it's just crazy. But I'm like, oh, we're like a third of like what Arsenal Pass is, but that's still crazy,
Right.
like, so anyway,
I would be very uncomfortable, I'm sure.
yeah, sorry, that wasn't a tangent, but you'd be very comfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Abby, you're sideboarding?
Jordan makes me a list of how to sideboard the deck he puts together for
Abby
me.
likes to pretend she doesn't have access to the cards that are just in the basement. Like, Abby's like, where's my Blitz deck? And I'm like, what do you mean? Did you build a Blitz deck? And she goes, you didn't build me a Blitz deck? So that's my life.
Yeah, all right. Second part of the question was the game dev part. A new mechanic. You're allowed.
Out there.
The thing that comes to mind for me is I'd like to see the adult heroes have abilities that are actually a derivation from the young hero abilities.
Yes.
Like example, young Dromai, you pitch, whenever you pitch a red, it makes an ash. Adult Dromai is whenever you pitch, you make an ash. If it's the second card you've pitched this turn, it makes 2. Or Bravo Showstopper, pay for dominate. Adult one, you pay 3 for +2 in dominate. Something like that. Just make it a little bit more interesting and cost it, but still have the same flavor as the young.
Yeah, I think it's a really good. And we talk about mechanics on this show a lot, and I keep referencing that I'm not a game dev because, like, despite the fact that, like, when we get this question a lot, I still have no idea how to answer it. But I think that's a really good one. I feel like when they made Blitz as a format, they were like, we need it was always a PR tool for them. We need a way for players to test this game and just like try it out. And Classic Constructed might just be too long. You can't get someone to try something for 50 minutes, but you can get someone to try it for 20. And so what do we do? Okay, just cut everything in half,
Right.
And I think that was like a really good thing at the start. But now, yeah, like having different gameplay elements from Blitz to Classic Constructed, I think is an intuitive. I think people expect that. Hey, my hero grew up. Why didn't their abilities grow up?
Mm-hmm.
So I like that.
Make Fi's adult ability cost 4, but you can use it twice a turn.
Oh yeah, and you would still be able to do it for free twice a turn with Vi.
God, that's actually probably terrifying.
Don't
do
really
that.
Good.
Please
don't do that. Yeah. Listen, LSS, please stop.
Yeah. Don't do that. Jordan, do you have anything to add to that one?
No, I think that was mine. I honestly am not the guy to ask about that, and like I feel like I've exhausted my ability to answer that question intelligently. But I like yours a lot, honestly. I think that's a very good answer to that question.
Abby.
All right. I would like to see different variations of heroes. Obviously we got it with Starvo, and that isn't great because it was like super busted. But instead of continuing to bring on, like, you can still refresh your older heroes that like need a revamp and give them a different ability. Like, that's an option. So I would like to see more of that.
Yeah, like Chain or Ursa's bitch or whatever. Yeah.
Would you like to see that while the heroes are still, their original heroes are still in the format? Or would you like to see that after their Living Legend out?
I would like to see it when the heroes are still in the format.
So you'd be okay right now with like a new Briar, for example?
No, I wouldn't want it to be a Briar, but I would like an Azalea that would do something.
Sure. I was just using Briar as an example. Gotcha.
Like Prism 2.0.
Exactly.
Interesting. Because I think one of the things I said when Bravo's Star of the Show got spoiled, I was annoyed that they were doing this, only because of the small communication thing of like if both are ever relevant, talking about it becomes a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like right now in this show, even we've referenced Bravo Showstopper, who just won a tournament and are currently talking about Bravo Star of the Show. So like, which one, and if I ever just said Bravo, it might make sense contextually, but it also might not. And I wonder that I worry about that a little bit. But I like what you're saying, because A, specializations, B, it lets you just like cut heroes dead and like fix them. But I wonder about like just how we talk about the game, but maybe that's not an actual issue.
That being said, give me my fucking adult Kasai already.
I also would like poison counters, but that's fine. Question number 3 is from Lone Road Ninja, and it's how many turns should games of Blitz and Classic Constructed last?
Jordan, you first.
Oh yeah, wow. I'm stuck me with this one. This is tricky.
Now, okay, I have a dumb question. Do you consider a turn like are we talking
a turn
or
cycle?
Like
turn cycle, yeah.
Turn cycle.
Yeah, around the way you're describing it, Abby, is a round. So my
Yeah.
turn, your turn is one turn.
That's a turn cycle.
Yeah. I don't know. I play like a degenerate Reinhardt deck in Blitz that lasts like 3, maybe 4 turns, and that feels too fast. I think the longer games go, the more likely the better player is to win. But that also doesn't mean that just because a game is quick that the better player lost. So I don't know really how to like analyze that. I don't know if LSS knows how to analyze that. I assume they do. They're smart people, but 5 to 8, and that is just like I am guessing. I am just guessing when I say 5 to 8 for Blitz.
Mine was 5 to 10 for Blitz and 10 plus for CC.
Just 10 plus, like it doesn't matter how long because of the variety of strategies.
Right. I think I think that in order for each deck to actually be able to do its thing a little bit and have a interactive game in general, 10 turns is probably the barometer. But on the same token, it really restricts design space if you're trying to make it so that every game lasts longer. But I don't know, like 10 plus feels like the best player is going, should be advantage.
Abby, what do you think about Blitz? I know you don't play.
I would say probably 5 to 10 in that frame. It's hard though, because like with the current meta, right? You're looking at, I don't know, 2.
2 or 3.
If you got,
yeah.
I mean, one of the games I played this weekend, I did 13 in my first turn.
Yeah, in a 20 health format. Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Yeah,
so.
And I think that's if they reworked the heroes, like you discussed, to have a young and an old variant. Maybe all of the variants that we have now are actually the old variant, and they need to like dumb them down for Blitz.
Or make them younger. Make a young one that doesn't do.
Maybe they just don't have text boxes. That's some of them. Maybe don't have text boxes. I mean, that's probably not
like
real.
Young Fi has to pay 4 for a Phoenix Flame.
Yeah, she's just inexperienced, or they're inexperienced and don't know what they're doing. Like, yeah, it costs 4. Maybe you can reduce it down to 1, but you always have to.
They never could go below 1.
Yeah, something like that. Like obviously this is all like would need to be tested, but Bravo, maybe it doesn't give it. Maybe the thing that gets dominate is bigger. It has to be cost more or something. Or maybe it costs 4 to activate that ability. Something, I don't know.
Okay.
But I think you leveled them up as they got better from like their current baseline, but maybe they should be scaled down as they get younger. And maybe that would help the format because it does feel so fast.
It is called
I don't
Blitz.
think it's bad, but what's that?
It is called Blitz.
True. And it does serve the purpose of, hey, if you're new to this game, we can play a game in 15 minutes. And if you liked it, we can play another one. Jammability is a big thing that I think this game loses compared to Magic. It was very easy to sit and play like 10 games of Magic and like critically evaluate them. It is more challenging to sit and play 10 games of Classic Constructed and critically evaluate them. There's more pieces, right? Like having equipment and shit like that also like bogs you down. But like, yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting to think about.
Question number 4 is from Fighting Walloon. LSS said the Stubbies ban was aimed to help players who don't or can't switch decks all the time and have decks that don't have tools to target Stubbies. Lots of pro players have made comments that the ban is bad or too fast because you can target Fi. Do you think bans should be aimed more at protecting local play experiences or more at curating the meta at the top level competitive events?
I think the question is reductive. The reason I feel that way is because with very, very specifically, when you're coming up on a pro tour, I think you should be trying to curate the format to give you the best viewing experience for that event. The thing in Magic was always that the pro tour did not mean professional tour, it meant promotional tour.
Yep.
And it's because it's promoting the game. At which point you should be curating things to promote the game. However, outside of those types of events on the horizon or near, I feel like it should be curating to the local play experiences, because it's important to grow the game at the local level in order for the game to continue thriving. So while the question, the sad part of the question is that it's actually just both. And I know that's kind of a non-answer, which I apologize for. I typically just try to shit out a hot take and see what happens, which even saying it that way was just wrong. Especially with people that are so close to Cleveland. But
wow.
we see they did there with the Steamers, and never
That was
mind.
good.
At any rate,
Good.
So I think that bans should be curated to the point in time the ban is happening.
Yeah, I like that answer. I'm trying to get at the spirit of the question a little bit, and there is a little bit of the question is motivated by like, what do we think about players that are qualified for the PT whining about this change? There's a little bit of that in there, just based on like the Discord conversation around it. That the community, which by the way, join our Discord, people talk about these questions too, and it's very fruitful discussion. And so I definitely think that there is and always has been in every game I've ever played, and in this one, in every game you will ever play, between the high-end competitive community and then your people that just go to locals or maybe the regional GP or whatever, right? About who's the game made for? And competitive players do not butter the bread of LSS. Competitive players notoriously are good at not spending money on the game. Across every game, your high-end League of Legends players are not the ones buying the skins.
No.
Your high-end Magic the Gathering players, like your Pro Tour players, are not the ones out there ripping crack and boosties of Commander product. Same thing with Fab. The PVE and the dual decks, those aren't for your Pro Tour Leal competitors, right? Logan and I are competitive hobbyists. Competitive enthusiasts is the term that we've used. And
competitive hobbyists. No, that was right.
Yeah, I think that's actually more accurate than competitive enthusiast, because we are into the hobby part of the game as well. So we kind of are the Venn diagram overlapping circles. I think my answer is that they should curate it in this particular instance, in this season, like Logan mentioned, for the Pro Tour, because if a prospective player turns on, if like my brother-in-law and his friend turn on the PT stream and see 5 mirror after 5 mirror after 5 mirror after 5 versus Bravo after 5 versus Prism, they're going to go, oh, there's only 3 decks. This game kind of sucks. I really don't like 5. Or I really don't like Prism. And so I don't really want to play any of these. And then they're off it. But if this ban opens up the format, and now streaming and the content creation team can do a little bit more to increase diversity of what they show on camera, that's huge. That being said, I also agree with part of the premise of the question that we should be making local stores comfortable to play in games that are fun. But I think that should be the goal regardless. Like, I think having a fun game, if the game is fun at your local armory level, the game is probably fun at your Grand Prix level or your calling level. The inverse isn't true. So maybe they should curate it for the lowest level.
Yeah, I think you said something in there that we overlook that's really interesting. And that's the way that, because of every hero is a playable character in your game, how identity ties to what people want to see. Because, unlike other games where you weren't necessarily playing a hero, you're playing colors, or you're playing, a clan for L5R or whatever.
Right. I didn't know what the Yu-Gi-Oh reference was. I was like, what the fuck do you
No fucking idea.
Stars. You have stars, right?
Whatever. You have some blue eyes shit. I don't know. But here you have a specific character that's sitting in front of you, and people grow attachments We do riff and joke about the variety of stands that we have. The League of Leviathan comes to mind, the Brute Squad,
yep,
yeah, the Prism stands. Like we joke about it, but there's a reality to it where people have generated a connection to this deck, to this character, or whatever, and people also generate those connections at first sight. In an instant, in a flash, they see something that they think is interesting about the character Azalea, right? And you have to kind of just slap their hand and say, no, don't put your hand in that cookie jar.
Don't go down that road. She'll break your heart. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting to me the way that you said that, where people don't want to see this because they'll see, I don't like Phi, or I don't like Bravo. And then it becomes not about the game, it becomes about the character and the identity that they associate with. And I don't think we talk about how much that impacts people enough in this game, especially at the hobbyist level. So I think that that's something that we really need to, we as a podcast, we as a community, we as a group, we as a family, we as a whatever the fuck you want to call us, really just kind of need to keep being cognizant of when we're talking about what people want to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Do you think that people, I guess it can work both ways. We talk about like Patrick Chapin with deck building, talked about bottom up or top down design a lot. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably works both ways in terms of like who you feel an allegiance to. Like if Bravo is just very good when you start playing the game, you might feel this allegiance towards Bravo and start to love the character because of how good the deck was. Or vice versa, you look at the art on say like Icelander and go like, Elsa's a badass. Like I want to be like Elsa. And so regardless of how good or bad the hero is, you're an Elsa stan, see Azalea, right? Like you can be an Azalea stan regardless of how bad she is because you were hooked to her first because of how cool the story or the art or whatever is.
Something spoke to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think you're right. That's pretty cool. One of the things people say about Flesh and Blood is that it feels a lot like Commander or a lot like D&D, and that like, you have this base, you are this thing. Mm-hmm. And like that is a very powerful tool that we don't talk about. You're right.
Yeah. All right. Question number 5. Once I read the question, I'm going to speak to Logan first. So Jordan, you just calm down on that. Question number 5 is from Teague. And it's, my listener question is, why do some people open packs like monsters even after being made aware of their degenerate ways? So Logan, I want you to go first here. How do you open a pack?
Are we talking about like literally opening
like
the
physically,
packaging?
You pick up a pack. How do you open it?
I peel the center from the spine. I pull it apart, and then I peel it like fruit, like a banana.
Yes,
you know.
So like a normal person.
Is that normal?
That is normal.
Okay,
yes.
Then I guess like a normie. I open.
Yes, Jordan, can you explain the terrible way that you open a pack?
Oh Jesus! So I shake all the cards in the pack to the bottom, and I open it. I open it like how I open an envelope. I rip the end off of an envelope instead of
who the fuck does that?
Thank you.
So
yes.
And then I rip the top of the pack off. Like if you think of the short side of the pack as opposed to the long side, I rip the short side of the pack.
Just
and then
tears it like that.
Like open it and then I slot. I like most of the time I just can reach my fingers in and pull the stack of cards out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm terrified.
So it's disgusting.
That
is some sociopath fucking behavior is what that is. Who opens an envelope like that? That is not how fucking humans open envelopes.
Exactly. Yeah, I knock the stuff to the end and rip the tip of the envelope. Yeah, so Teague comes and collects the trash after drafts and sealed events, obviously. And he just every time gives me a hard time about how I open packs.
It's just
how would you do that with the plastic ones, like the old foil?
I didn't. This is a new development since paper. So I felt like it was it's felt very intuitive to me since the paper pack.
Like you were just given a mandate to be a monster.
Yeah. Well, see, I never even try. Like I never even consciously set out to change it because, like with booster packs, so maybe this is weird. With booster packs, I grabbed the front, and with the plastic packs, I grabbed the front and I grabbed the back of the spine and pulled it open, like you would imagine you were closing a drawstring bag or like a trash bag. I did that to open the pack and then broke the spine open. Right. But since these paper packs, I felt very just naturally, not even with the intent to change, maybe because of my envelope habits, did that and like just ripped it like you would like you would the other side of an envelope.
I feel nauseous.
We need a shame now.
I don't want to yuck your yum because obviously this is something very yummy to you.
It's very yucky. I'll yuck
but
it.
I feel uncomfortable.
That's funny.
With how you view the world.
You think you know a guy, you know?
Like, you think that the best thing to do is rather than ease your way into something, to just rip that ship open and just fucking jam your hands in there, and that doesn't. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's how I open them now. And Teague was the first person to shame me because he'd walk around and go like, "What the hell?" Like, I mean, it's an event every time he comes and picks up pack trash. So I love it. Yeah. It's kind of become my calling card now.
Yep, it's disgusting.
I honestly thought this was a question critiquing people who just bust open their boosties.
Oh no. That was nope. This is
literally how we open packages.
The physical package, yeah.
He literally said at the event on Saturday that he was going to post that so we could talk about it.
Yeah,
because
I almost didn't pin it, but I wanted to do right by my friend. So
that's right.
Fun fact that Teague did get back to me actually. He was going to cancel the armory on that Friday night, but at my insistence, we are going to have it is going to be what did he call it? Fuck it. It will be Friday FAP night at Beyond the Board.
Well, now I can't miss it.
Right. So there we
go.
Just
he priced me in.
Yep.
It's like the FAP signal was shot into the air. God, what the fuck would that even look like? Oh my god! I did not. Oh shit! I did not mean.
Nope.
The memes are going to be fucking awful.
All right.
Okay. That right there. Raindrop emoji.
Yep.
Shit.
It is late, and we are. It's not good.
Nope. That was nope. I hadn't done one yet today, so I'm glad that I. Whew.
Let's move it along since we are not doing so well. All right.
I guarantee Mara is like painting or something listening to this and just fucking died.
I hope so. Let us know if you did. All right. So, what's that face?
How does a person die and let you know?
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. You were using it colloquially, but then flipped it to literally.
Yeah, he sees that. Yeah, he's
sorry.
Okay,
it's late for us, man. We go to bed 15 minutes ago. Typically.
I felt clever for a minute, and then you just made me feel like shit.
All right. Okay, so let's do our shout out to our executive producers and up on Patreon. So we have Taylor A, Josh L, Kenny, Nick D, Ricky, Teague W, Ben M, Corey S, Alan B, Michael B. If you are interested in subscribing to our Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/fleshandpod. We have 4 tiers that you can take a look at.
The playmat is sweet. Just saying.
I wasn't going to talk about it yet.
I have the playmat in my hands. Like it looks great. I'm not going to show it.
That's right.
But it looks great.
It does. You'll have to be on the lookout for that update. As always, you can find us on Twitter at FleshPod. You can join our Discord. The link will be in the show notes. You can give us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. You can shoot us an email at fleshandpod@gmail.com. My personal Twitter is at everyd83. I am a tweeting machine at this point, folks.
It's all possums.
It is. I also, Logan, thank you for bringing that up. I have a not even public service announcement. I have a request from all of our listeners. Jesus Jordan Christ. Told me today that he will not be getting me a possum and that he's a liar. Yep. And I would like all of you to shame him for that lie. So if you could do that for me, that would be great. Because I was promised a possum and I'm not getting one.
Full disclosure, I co-host a show that is an acronym for masturbation. So the level of shame that I can feel is pretty low, to be honest. So go ahead and try your best.
Put that beautifully. Yep. I mean, fucking Shakespeare.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, it's fucking called, I have a FAP sticker on my desk. And you think you can shame me?
You think you can shame me?
I shame myself.
I'm just saying it's ridiculous and it's heartbreaking, and you promised me that I would get a possum and now you're lying and I'm not having it.
What's that movie about the couple that gets a divorce that's very memeable? The guy is a star in Star Wars. The guy is like the bad guy in Star Wars, in the newest Star Wars. He's got the big nose. Man.
Oh, you mean Adam Driver?
Is it? Yeah, Adam Driver. Yeah, he's like he was the most recent villain in the Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, Kylo Ren. Sure.
Oh, is it
yeah, I couldn't remember his name.
No, what's it called? It was on Netflix.
But I just would like to imagine.
Marriage Story.
Yeah, I would like to imagine the meme of like the wife character holding up a possum and like Adam Driver just like punching the wall with like a no or a possum. I don't know why that came to mind.
Marriage Story, yes.
Marriage Story.
I thought you were going with War of the Roses, but that is way too old for either of you.
We just saw a play about the War of the Roses.
Okay, not the same. There's nobody in the play about the War of the Roses pissing on the fish at a dinner.
That did not happen in the play we saw.
No.
It was like an adaptation of like King George the Fourth or whatever. Yeah. You know, that was not in the, that was not in there.
Not in there.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
No.
No.
Yep. Join our
Patreon. My
turn.
Yeah, I guess. I'll start writing movie reviews. You can find me on Twitter at Logan Peterson or in our Discord. The link is in the show notes, continually responding to people in Discord. Have a lot of conversations with our fans and listeners. And it's quite what's the best way to put this? Humbling, to talk to some of you and hear about like that we actually brighten your days. So thank you very much for reaching out. And thank you very much for listening and interacting with us. It's actually just a joy. And we wouldn't do this if it weren't for you, because Jordan would just refuse to. Jordan?
That's beautifully said. No, find me on Twitter at ImJorman, ImJorman. Actually, I'm kind of doing like I hate social media clout chasing, but I'm kind of trying to do a push for followers right now, only so that I can host Twitter Spaces for major Fab events. You need 600 followers, and I'm currently at 543 as the time of recording. So like I've gained like a bunch today because people are really supportive of the project. I think it'd be fun to have like a late night Twitter space for the Realm Pro Tour. And, you know, like in addition to all the Discord calls that'll be going on and all the community events, like it'll be very fun to hang out together. So if you wouldn't mind, if you don't have a Twitter, I don't even need you to like make it serious. Just like make an account with a fake email and follow me and then delete the app. I don't care. It would just be cool to be able to do this for people that like that. And I think Logan, Abby, and I in particular would be good people at curating that type of content.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the one thing that I want to promote more than anything. I'm available on Discord like Logan. I genuinely like chatting in there. It makes work days go by so fast when you just get to talk to people that you like about stuff. It is more on the rails than this show has been, I promise. If this is your first time at Flesh and Pod and you've stuck through the end, they are not always this off the rails.
I just want to be clear that Jordan breaks his promises, so you cannot believe.
Oh my god. But Twitter is for me right now, and Discord I am full on fantasy mode. It's like fantasy football draft prep season, fantasy baseball trade deadlines are coming up. There's a lot of cool sports happening right now. Formula One starting the second half, so there's a lot of cool stuff going on right now, and all of my different hobbies. So it's come chat about it with me. Let's distract ourselves from the reality that time is a cruel mistress, you know?
Oh, he's doing the sign off. Oh God.
That's
Look
right.
at that. Yeah. I'm remembering.
Proud of you. All right, folks, that is all we have for this week. So we will talk to you next week. Bye.